Hello everyone and welcome to my channel and my first official YouTube video. Today I am going to be talking about things I did not know about being pregnant. I'm actually 39 weeks pregnant today. 1 week left to go. May 24th is when she's due and I hope that's all it takes. But anyways, I think I've basically got the ins and outs of pregnancy. I don't think in the next week I'll get any curveballs thrown at me, other than labor and delivery, but we will disclude that. So I thought it would be the appropriate time to make this video. Just a little disclaimer here. Obviously, I am one woman, I am one person, and this is my first pregnancy. So things I may mention in this video that kinda sucked, they might not happen to you, so don't worry about it. And some of the more positive things that happened to me might not happen to you either. I'm sorry to say it, it's just that every pregnancy is different, every woman is different, they're gonna experience it a different way. Regardless, I hope that everybody who is going to be pregnant in the future or plans on being, I really hope it goes well for you and that you definitely have all the good experiences I had and more positive experiences than the negative ones I had. So without further ado, here are some things I did not know about being pregnant. First thing I did not know about being pregnant is in the beginning for me, there were no signs. The only way I knew that I was pregnant was basically when my period skipped. I didn't feel any soreness, I wasn't bloated, I didn't have any physical changes to my body. I remember the day before I took the pregnancy test, I messed up dinner really bad and I started crying over it, but that was it. I'm a very emotional person in general, so it was understandable that like if I spent some time on dinner and then I accidentally messed it up so that it was unedible, that I would be a little bit upset about that. But at the time that I found out I was pregnant, I was already 6 weeks along and I didn't have any signs except for the fact that my period had skipped. So yeah, I don't know what other women have faced, but for me, I did not have any signs that I was pregnant except for the fact that my period skipped. Number 2, the nausea. It wasn't just morning sickness, no. It was early morning sickness, late morning sickness, noon sickness, afternoon sickness, evening sickness, and late night sickness. All the way through. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for 4 weeks. I was just nauseous non-stop. And it was the worst nausea I had ever faced. It was like every time my stomach was grumbling, I would feel nauseous and I felt like I couldn't eat. And then when I did eat, I really had to force it down me, and it would only work temporarily. And then I would feel sick again. It was extremely painful, and I didn't know that was a thing, that you could just be nauseous all the time. I actually learned during that time that my boyfriend's mom, she was nauseous up until the last month of her pregnancy. But a lot of my friends, they only had morning sickness, so I just thought, oh, well maybe it'll just be in the morning for me. No. It was all the time, and I really hope none of you guys have to face that. Number 3, and this is a little bit of TMI, but it's a video about pregnancy, so you gotta expect some TMI in there somewhere, right? Boob leakage. It probably started around the 15-week area, and it only happened probably once every 3 weeks or so, and it still happens too every few weeks. All of a sudden, it was probably around nighttime, I would be wearing like a loose shirt, and then all of a sudden I would feel cold just on one of my nipple areas. And then I would look down and there would just be like a little wet spot right over there. And then that would be all. But it was just super weird for me because I didn't know that your boobs could leak before you had your own baby. Number 4, the lack of fullness, like the feeling of feeling full. You know how like when you eat too much food, you kind of sit back in your chair and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna throw up. And then you just have to kind of lean back and wait for it to pass. I don't have that anymore. Ever since around the 20-week mark, I stopped feeling the feeling of fullness. The only way I could tell I was full was I would just bloat so much that it would start stretching my skin and it would hurt. And by that time, I'm pretty sure I had eaten too much. And I haven't gained a lot of weight during this pregnancy, thank goodness. It's really only in my midsection area where it should be, but it was still a concern for me to know that I couldn't feel full anymore, so that I could just keep eating and eating and eating, and then have weight problems in the future. But yeah, super weird. Didn't feel full at all, except that I would just swell up like a balloon, look down and be like, all right, my skin is about to tear apart. Number 5, the lack of having enough sleeping positions. I was able to lay on my stomach probably till around the 25-week area, and even around the 30-week area I would wake up sometimes and I would be on my stomach. But I couldn't lay there for long because that hurts. And also, I never ever slept on my back regularly before being pregnant, but now I miss it so much. You're only limited to your left side and your right side. And when you start getting heavier and you don't really have a good supporting pillow, it feels like your back is kind of curving because your belly is just making it hang down. So then your back feels strained, so then you try to go to the other side and it would just sink down to that side too. And it's no fun, and I've been losing a lot of sleep over it, so I find myself napping frequently throughout the day, or I just continue sleeping after my boyfriend goes to work. So yeah, be prepared for that. You're gonna have a very limited selection of sleeping positions. I think that's something all pregnant women face. I don't think that's just me. Number 6, baby's movement. I didn't realize how much I would feel her move. When I hear about babies kicking, I just think like little bumps, you know, that you would feel and maybe be able to see on the outside a little bit. But for me, it's like she will move in like 3 or 4 different places, and you can see it through my tummy, and it literally looks like there's an alien about to break out. And then probably around the 30-week area was when it really started to kind of hurt me. It's like my skin was stretching and she was stretching out my organs in there. And a lot of the times it's just really uncomfortable and I would just have to lean back and let it pass. And I can't believe how active she is. Like, what is there to do in there that you're moving around so much? I don't know what she's doing in there. Maybe she is just trying to break out. She hasn't succeeded yet, but I have a feeling she's gonna be succeeding soon because it is extremely painful sometimes. Number 7, breast growth. I probably started out my pregnancy as being around a 34B. If there was such thing as a 35B, I probably would have been that size. I always bought my bras about a 36B, so a size up, just because my boobs didn't quite fit into the 34Bs, but they were a little bit loose inside the 36Bs. And I expected my boobs to grow like a lot. But no, it's like, I mean, I don't know how well you can see, I'm not gonna like flash you guys or anything, but they really didn't grow all that much. It was mainly the area around the rib cage that really grew. Like the cup size is still the same, but now I fit pretty full into my 36B bras. But I haven't bought a size up just because I've already got the 36 ones and now I fit perfectly into them now. I just have to adjust the little clips in the back so that they're farther apart so it's not constricting me. I'm sure my boobs will get a bit fuller once the breast milk starts coming in, but at this point I'm very, very surprised that at no point during my pregnancy did my boobs like grow drastically, like some people I know. Number 8, bending over. For those of you who know me personally, I worked at a daycare for 3.5 years, and just last week was my last week there. I was the assistant infant room teacher in there for about a year. So of course when I'm in there, I'm constantly bending down and picking up kids. And I remember as I was growing, people kept telling me like, oh, you're gonna have to start squatting, you won't be able to bend over. I thought they meant like, if I bent over, I would literally fall over. Which I would get that feeling sometimes, but for the most part, bending over really wasn't and still isn't that bad. It hurts my back a little, but I found whenever I squat, it cracks my knees and I have a harder time standing up. So bending over was actually still the easier option for me, even during my last week of being there at being around 38 weeks pregnant. Even now at home when I'm picking up things around the house, I still bend over. I don't squat just because it hurts my knees more than it hurts my back to bend over. Number 9. The nesting instinct is real, guys, I promise you. You can ask Seth about this, but I did not like cleaning before, unless it was like a total mess that I like occasionally would feel like, oh, this really needs to be done. I don't like cleaning. I would hardly do dishes. I had a hard time doing certain chores around the house just because I just did not want to do it, and I didn't care for it. Seth would have to make me get off my butt and go and do chores. I want to say probably around the 30-week area, I just all of a sudden would get urges to start cleaning. So now it's like once a week I will be cleaning the living room, I will clean the bathroom, I will go through and scrub down the kitchen. And it's really nice. Like, I really like having this feeling of wanting to clean and to be in a clean house. And actually when I'm done being pregnant, I'm kind of worried that that'll go away. Which I feel like now that I have a little baby, I'm gonna be super protective and be like, oh, germs. But yeah, I didn't realize how much you would get the urge to clean while being pregnant. It is ridiculous how much my attitude towards cleanliness has changed in the last few weeks. And then number 10, last but not least, stretch marks. I always see all these pictures of women who have been pregnant and they have these like tiger stripes, you know, going around their belly button and stuff. And they're either purple or they're like a light white color. And I was expecting that. And I actually got a few stretch marks right at the top of my breast. And then I also have some on my left thigh for some reason, but my right thigh has 2, but my left thigh has like 5. But I was really expecting that I would get them around the belly. I don't have any stretch marks on my belly. I'm 39 weeks pregnant, and as you can tell, I'm a very little person, and I don't have any stretch marks on my belly. I know it's like before I got pregnant, I had like a little bit of a belly because I really like my fast food, and so that was the only like really heavy part of me, if you want to call it that, was I just had a little bit of a pouch. So maybe it's because since my skin was already a little bit stretched out there, that helped. I'll even see women who are thicker than me who like didn't even have stretch marks before get pregnant and then they get stretch marks. I do remember learning around halfway through my pregnancy that sometimes stretch marks are hereditary, but I'm pretty sure my mom has them around her tummy too from her pregnancies. So yeah, I'm not really sure why I didn't get stretch marks. I thought that was just a thing every woman got, but apparently it's not. I mean, I did get stretch marks, but not in my belly area, which is the place that's growing the most. So yeah, those are some things that I did not know about being pregnant. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and then subscribe if you want to see more videos. I have a few video ideas planned in the next couple weeks, so I don't know how much I'll be able to film since I'm probably having a baby next week, but I am definitely gonna try my best. Question for you guys. What are some things you didn't know about being pregnant? Whether you've been pregnant before and you learned from your own experience, or if you even had a friend that was pregnant and you learned something from them that you're like, oh, I didn't know that. Make a little conversation down there in the comments. I'd love to see what you guys have to say. Also, if you have any suggestions for videos you want to see from me, please let me know. I'm just starting out and I really don't know what my channel is about yet, so I'd love to hear some suggestions from people who want to watch. Anyways, I will see you in the next video.